Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Scump here today, bringing you the post-event blog of the first major of the year. We ended up finishing in 4th place. Obviously, not what we want, not what you guys want, and we understand that. So let's talk a little bit about our mentality, our mindset, how we were feeling going into each of the matches that we played. We only played 3 matches. It kind of felt like a lot more than that because the major was every single day, it felt like. Especially after Super Week. I mean, we played, I think it was 12 out of 14 days there were Call of Duty matches. Obviously, we weren't playing in every single one of those, but it was a pretty exhausting 2 weeks for us on the competitive side of things. But let's talk about the major. I mean, who cares about Super Week, right? It's all about the major. So, first round matchup, we were going up against New York. We didn't really know what to think about New York. This was our first time playing them. They were coming off hot with some really good matches against some really good teams. They played Dallas super close. They got reverse swept. They were playing a lot of the other top teams in the division over there pretty well. And they definitely weren't a team to sleep on. You know, we knew that coming into the match, they were going to be a good team. They were going to be solid all around. We touched up on some VOD on them, and we knew it was going to be a battle. But the first time we played them, it really wasn't a battle at all. We kind of just absolutely smoked them. And a lot of that was attributed to Bruce and Formal absolutely just going ballistic. So Bruce ended up having like a 2.1, and then Matt ended up having like a 1.4. I mean, me and Dylan really didn't have to do anything the whole series, so that was kind of nice. Ended up playing first map, Checkmate HP. It's been one of our really good maps throughout the year, and we ended up coming out, I think we went up like 170 to 50 or something. They started clawing their way back into the map. Didn't matter. We ended up closing them out like 250 to 180 or something. That's just kind of how Checkmate plays. I mean, some of those hills can be so streaky that P3 to P4 to P5, like that sequence can get really, really bad. And that's where you can see comebacks happen just because that P5 should be an easy hold. P4, you can definitely soak a lot of time on. And P3, if you're good at that hill, you can also soak a lot of time on. But that's one of the harder hills to get a lot of time on. But you definitely can if you play it correctly. So we were really confident going into that. I mean, Checkmate Hardpoint, again, we've been really, really solid at it. Ended up taking the first map. That's obviously huge for morale in the series. It was our first map of the major. So we got those, butterflies out of our system super early. Came out hot. Absolutely won the map. Dominant fashion, 250 to 180. Not dominant fashion, but, we did pretty good. The next map, however, was pretty dominant. We ended up playing Moscow Search and Destroy. Our Moscow has been looking a lot better recently. Obviously, a lot of people were critiquing us and criticizing us after our match versus FaZe in our league match. And for good reason. I mean, we got 12-1'd in Search. I dropped a donut. I mean, I don't want to really relive that. But, that was like one of those things where you hear us say that we learned a lot from that specific match. And we're not just blowing smoke, like we actually did learn a lot after that match, like a whole lot. We completely started to rework some of our game modes. We looked at our Search and Destroy, obviously, as our number one problem and really started to rework it. And we'll get to that point a little bit further down the line when we get to our second series against New York. But we came out dominant. We were making perfect plays. Dylan had a really good map. We were all doing what we had to do on the map, and it was just perfect. I believe we ended up winning like, 6-2? I can't really remember off the top of my head. Obviously, these matches were a long time ago. I think it was like 6-2 or 6-1. It was a really dominant Search, I believe. We really, like I said, looked at that map specifically after we lost. Miami, we were kind of like, I mean, we just didn't know what was going on. Moscow, we thought we had an idea of what was going on before we played FaZe, and then they just absolutely embarrassed us on it. So went back to the drawing board, came back, and ended up making some adjustments that ultimately ended up working out for us at the major. So we won that, went up 2-0. Next, we had Raid Control. At this point in the season, we were perfect on Control. I believe we were 5 or 6-0 on the game mode. So, we were just feeling really good. We got Raid. We're really good at every single Control, in my opinion. Control is probably our best game mode at this moment, I would say, and I don't think it's really that close. I mean, it's a huge, huge swing map. It's map 3 of every series, unless you're in a best of 9, obviously. So it's a game mode that you really want to have, good, because if you're down 0-2, if you're tied 1-1, if you're up 2-0, you can always guarantee that map in either 3-0, go up 2-1, or end up closing out the series like we did with the clean sweep. So yeah, raid control, played the map really well. Again, Bruce and Matt were just doing some crazy things on the map. More specifically, Bruce, he's popping like 5 pieces. I don't even know. That man was possessed. And we ended up taking our first match 3-0 versus the New York Subliners. So we were feeling really good after that. You know, obviously, it was our first match of the major. Didn't really know what the intensity was going to look like. Didn't really know what the nerves would feel like going into the match. So to come out in 3-0, our first match against a really, really solid team, feels great. It'll always feel great. I mean, we were on cloud 9. We were super excited, super amped up, ready to play the following day against the Dallas Empire. Man, this match stung, bro. Oh my goodness. This match, it was a hard loss to take for us. I mean, we ended up going the distance, round 11, 2v2. I mean, we'll talk about that, but to lose like that, it's super deflating because we were also down 5-3 and we came back and we were like, yo, we can do this. And then we got offense and really, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's talk about the rest of the series. So we started off on Garrison HP, which we know that they like that map. We know they're strong at it. But at this point, we didn't want to play that map or Crossroads against them. Sorry, we didn't want to play Crossroads against them just because we know that they also really like Crossroads. They're a really annoying Crossroads team to play, and we obviously aren't that great at it. I just completely remember that we played 100 Thieves. I completely forgot about that match for some reason, but that's why I paused. But we knew that Garrison Hardpoint was going to be a tough match for us, or a tough map. We ended up spawning on the good side. I don't really know if it's the good side anymore because every single time we spawn on that side, we end up losing the map. So I don't really know. We came out slow. I started really slow. I started to pick it up a little bit mid game, but at that point it was already over. So really we just came out flat. I don't know. I was pretty disappointed in myself personally for this series because Hardpoint's been probably one of my best game modes. It's either that or Control throughout the whole year thus far. And I kind of came out and was just flat in it. I didn't play well in it. Even on the Moscow afterwards, we ended up going up 2-1 and we played Moscow 4th map. Just didn't play good on the map. And I was really kicking myself because I was like, dude, we could have closed him out on Moscow. I mean, I didn't play horribly on Moscow, but I played bad on Gary. But I was just like, dude, if we would have just refined a little bit of the situations, we knew what they like to do on the map. I mean, if we could have just did a couple things better, obviously it's hindsight, but we could have won that series 3-1. I mean, we fucked up a lot of things on Moscow. Gary, we got outplayed completely. But let's not get ahead of ourselves again. I'm kind of going all over the place. Next map, Moscow again. We needed this map. We were already down 0-1 in the series. You never want to go down 0-2. Going down 0-2 it's never fun. I mean, at that point, you have to reverse sweep, obviously. So you never want to go down 0-2 in a series because the other team has full momentum. You're going into a control, which is another respawn. You never want to go down 0-2. It's as simple as that. So we came out. Again, we had a great map as a team. We made some really, really good play calls. Dylan played good on the map again. He's been really good on Moscow. We all just played really well on the map again. We ended up 6-2. I believe this was 6-2 or 6-3. Again, it's hard to really remember. But I know that it was a dominant win on Moscow S&D. So I was happy with that. I mean, we're tied 1-1. We have raid control coming up next, which we're confident in. So we're like, all right, we can go up 2-1 in this series, which we end up doing. We ended up having one little letdown, which was one of our defensive rounds. I actually was this close to clutching it and killing them off the point. They only had a couple seconds left, and I think I would have two-pieced them. In the hill, we would have ended up winning that round, which would have been huge for us, but we ended up winning the map anyway. I had one of them absolute one-shot on the point, and they had a trophy, so I couldn't nade. And if I would have been able to nade, we actually probably win that round, and it was probably more of a dominant control. But obviously, we're having some technical issues. We had to restart the game, round 5, which sucks for them on their part. I mean, they didn't have trophies at that point, and not having trophies on raid is definitely a disadvantage. I mean, you need trophies on that map. It's just, if you try to go A ringside and you don't have trophies, you're screwed. So they ended up trying to go poolside, or maybe I have those flipped, but they ended up trying to go poolside. We ended up stopping their first push. And after that, it was kind of just curtains for them. We had full map control. They were running out of time. They were running out of lives. They didn't really have many options to be able to do really much of anything at that point. And we ended up winning the map 3-2. We ended up winning last round. So go up 2-1 in the series. Next, this is where I was kind of kicking myself. Moscow. We knew what they like to do. I felt like we played the map good. Like, we lost the map by like 100 points, I'm pretty sure. But we played the map good. We just kept getting broken on our setups, and it was so aggravating because we knew what they like to do. We were getting broken the same way every single time. It's not like they were doing anything like crazy on the map. We were just getting broken over and over again. And I felt like, again, we felt like we played that map good mechanically, but we just didn't come out on top with our gunfights and our holds, which obviously hardpoint holds are huge. It's 50% of the game. You're either holding or breaking. So we just fell flat. I mean, honestly, again, our hardpoint didn't look good in that series. Mine specifically didn't look good in that series. It was one of our best game modes. So for us to lose 2, it was kind of shocking, you know, that at that point we were still in the series. I mean, we're about to go map 5. We lost both hard points, which that doesn't happen to us very often. So it was definitely like a weird series for us. Next, going into the checkmate. I mean, I started the map really good. Kyler ended up getting streaks. He ended up streaking me and playing on one of our defenses. I believe they ended up winning that offense. And offense is really the trick on that map. Defenses are way easier. It's really winning and stealing some offenses, which are the difficult part. So he ended up getting streaks. And then the last round, I mean, he literally ran past Dylan, bottom plane, ended up flanking us, our side plane, getting a kill. We ended up trading him out, and then he called both of us out, I'm pretty sure, in death cam that we were both our side plane. So it's like literally the worst timing ever. Dylan ran right past him. They ran right past each other. If he just holds for a second, it's like, obviously he might not get the kill or win the gunfight, but if he does, we're then in a 3v2. We have a good idea of where the last 2 are. It's just one of those things, man. Like 5-5, anything could happen, and that was like one of those times where he made a good play. He got good timing through our base, and I mean, the rest is history. We were in the 2v2. Dylan called to hit bomb. I was like, I'm down. And whenever he called that, I thought we won the map. Honestly, I thought we were going to clutch up and win the map because we thought that they were going to be on it. And they just both were pre-aiming both alleys of the plane, and Dylan was still weak, and I just ran right into a pre-aim, which obviously sucks. I mean, that loss sucked. I mean, map 5, round 11, to get a spot in winners finals, that's tragic. You know, like that sucks. That's definitely not good for morale. We were all pretty down. I mean, not winning that was not fun. But next, moving on to the following day, Saturday, we ended up playing 100 Thieves in our first match. Honestly, I was really happy with how we played against the Thieves. We ended up coming out winning Crossroads HP. This was one of the things where people were like, why are they playing Crossroads? Like, we know they don't like that map. And it was like, we were not confident in our garrison at that point. And we're going to work on that map specifically to try to get back to that, you know, confidence. But we just weren't confident in it, and we knew that they liked it. So we were like, screw it, let's play Crossroads. You know, let's give it a try. We haven't played it in a match yet. Obviously, it's at the major, so trying things gets a little sketchy. But we ended up coming out and beating them 250 to around 180, I'm pretty sure, on that map. So we played the map good. I mean, we played it well. We got a good win against a good team, a good respawn team in 100 Thieves, so we felt good on the map. And then following that, we played Raid Search. Ended up going down 5-2 and ended up bringing it back to 5-5. We ended up getting first blood in the 5-5 the 5-5 as well, which sucked because we ended up losing it in the end. I got trapped in P5 and I really couldn't get out, so they just soloed me out. They made a good play there, and then Matt tried to help me from kitchen. They killed Matt, so they honestly made a really good play. And I mean, it's 5-5 again. Anything can happen. They ended up getting 3v2, and then Bruce almost clutched a crazy 1v2. He played it flawlessly. If he did like one little thing different, I mean, he could have won that round, then we would have went up 2-0. But in hindsight, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, we ended up winning the series anyway. So we end up going into map 3, which was Checkmate Control. I kind of forgot which map it was, honestly. Like, all the maps kind of blend together in a major. But Checkmate Control, we ended up going last round, I believe. Let me actually look through this real quick. I think we end up going last round. Oh, wait, no. We end up winning 3-1. Never mind. I'm completely... It's so hard to remember all of these specific maps and all of these different moments, so bear with me. Checkmate. This was our first time playing it at the major. We are very confident in, like I said, really any of the controls that you throw at us. We're just an all-around good control team. So we knew that if we could steal an offense, we'd just straight up win the map. And we end up stealing an offense. Offense on that map is kind of tricky. And a lot of people were giving us criticism for the 11 versus 4 or whatever against New York. And it's like, even though it's an 11 versus 4, we still have the time working against us. They're all in power positions. And it really is difficult, even 11 versus 4. It's still hard because the time's running down. You have to try to get on the point. They're all sitting in corners and cutting you off on the map. They could be in your base. They could be literally anywhere. It gets really difficult. So we ended up winning that. And I was really happy. I mean, after we win map 3 on checkmate control, it's like, all right, now we're up 2-1. Now we got a good map of ours, raid hardpoint coming up. We started on the bad side. Me and Matt had really good maps on this. I was really happy with it. We ended up beating them around 250 to 180-ish again. I mean, that's like kind of like what it looks like in a match that you're either 100 point clubbing someone or that's around like what it'll come down to, like 220 to 280 to 250, like somewhere in that zone. So we end up winning that. And we move on to New York Subliners. And this is for top 3 at this point. So we're guaranteed top 4, playing for top 3. And honestly, this is where I was kind of pissed off. We fucked up our vetoes, which ended up shooting us in the foot. I'm not going to say what we veto, obviously, because don't want to give out information for free. But, you know, we screwed up our vetoes. We ended up playing map 1, Crossroads, against them. And we kind of ego-chowed it. We thought that we could win it. Obviously, after beating 100 Thieves on it, we were like, okay, we just played it good in our first match. Why not try to run it back? You know, why not? So we ended up losing that. And it was just a weird map. It felt off. We ended up screwing up one thing, and it still sticks out to me. We ended up losing the rotation from the first P2 to P3. And that's what really shot us in the foot. We ended up hitting old time with not that much time left. We should have just full rotated. But it's one of those things in a match where, you know, you live and die by plays like that. And that was like one of those things where it kind of really screwed us, because then they ended up holding a P3, P4, and we were down a lot at that point. I mean, trying to come back from that is never easy. I mean, we still could have done it. A couple things go our way. We still could have done it, but it's never easy coming down from that deficit. So we ended up losing map 1. We were, you know, we weren't too worried because our search had been looking good up to that point. We knew that we could come back 1-1 and tie the series up, but we played Garrison, S&D, and honestly, it was one of those things where it was our first rep. It was their first rep. We didn't have any VOD to watch, and it honestly felt like we weren't doing what we'd practiced on the map. And it's kind of similar to that phase S&D on Moscow. It's like we were very confident in that map going into it, and then the match comes and we kind of just don't do what we've practiced and do what we say we want to do on the map. And it's like, it's one of those things where you're down 0-1 and now you play an S&D. Their confidence is an all-time high. Our confidence isn't that high, which we need to work on that, by the way. I mean, we can't go into a second map like and play it differently just because we're down 0-1. We've already talked about all that. But we just played the map scared, it felt like. We didn't play the map how we've scrimmed it. And they ended up taking advantage of that and just absolutely blowing us out of the water. And again, it's one of those things where we look really good on it in scrims, and then we get to a match, and they have all the momentum, and we don't. And then we kind of just don't play the map correctly. I mean, it's as simple as that. So ended up getting blown out on that. And then going into map 3, checkmate control again. This was our first control loss of the season. Which sucks because we honestly felt that if we could have stole that control, not even stole it, just won it. I mean, we had Moscow hardpoint starting from good side and then Moscow S&D for map 5. So we honestly felt if we could have clutched up that checkmate control, we were in a good spot. Obviously, a reverse sweep is difficult no matter what the stakes are or what the maps are, but we were very confident, and for us to come out and lose the offense the way we did was definitely really, really frustrating, because we knew if we won the offense, we had defense going into round 5. I believe they'd already won an offense at that point anyway, though. So it's not like it was a guaranteed dub if we would have won it, but we were very confident, obviously, if we got a defense round 5. And we ended up choking the 11v4, and it was a choke. I'm not saying it wasn't a choke. I'm just saying that sometimes it's hard, you know, in that situation to dictate and differentiate what you want to do in that scenario. You know, obviously the pressure's on us. We're down 0-2. We're facing elimination. We have to play this perfectly. And if we don't, we're eliminated, which we did end up getting eliminated. So, you know, it's hard. I mean, it is what it is. They played good. They had a great series. I don't feel that we played up to par in that series, just as a team, which can't take away anything from New York, though. They played great. You know, we just got to keep our heads down, continue practicing what we know, you know, what we know we have to do, and just come back better for the next one. I mean, that's really it. Sorry, my shorts are like, I'm like down here freaking out, rethinking it, dude. I'm like just pulling my shorts, the string. But we just got to get better. And we know what we did wrong, and we know what our mistakes were. So it's back to the lab. We got the second major in about a month, I would say. And we got some league matches before that. So got to buckle down, get back to it, and short memory. That's what you gotta. That's what it's gotta be in a league like this. Short memory. So we'll be back. But thank you all very much for watching. I know that you guys have a lot of critiques about our gameplay and stuff like that. So, and if you want to give us any advice or let us know how you feel or whatever, you know, in the comment section, we will be reading those and taking them for what they're worth, you know, and seeing what you guys think. So yeah, that'll do it. Pretty long post-event blog. I mean, 21 minutes. I had some freaking things to talk about, apparently, you know. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. And as always, it's your brother Scump.